Congratulations. If you could just give us your thoughts on the match and win number one in this year's U.S. Open.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, I lost to Naomi 3 times before, so going into the match I had a lot of information on what I kind of needed to do better and areas I could improve. And I think I did those things and played overall pretty well. I got lucky in some big moments, but I was working really hard for the points. She wasn't giving me a ton of free ones. Yeah, so I think overall it was a really solid match, really high-level tennis from both of us. So I'm just really still kind of speechless in a way because, you know, I took the summer off and then to kind of come out here and play a tough opponent first round and someone that's won 2 Grand Slams here is not easy. And yeah, just really over the moon about, you know, being able to get through this first round because I don't think most players want to face Naomi in the first round. So,
thank you. Name and affiliation, please. Chris, go ahead.
Danielle and Chris Clary, New York Times. That was outstanding play. Did you feel like some of the frustrations that you've been through were fuel tonight, or did you not even need that? And what was your sense of how you hit that high note so quickly coming back? Yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't really feel too frustrated. I felt pretty happy just to be out here playing because I think when you know, face as many challenges as I've faced, you know, with some of the things I've been dealing with, you're kind of more grateful to kind of be out here and being able to compete. So, yeah, was just really trying to embrace it and kind of enjoy the match maybe more than, you know, I usually do because I think sometimes I can get so locked into my tactics and, you know, trying to get to the next step and doing things a certain way that it can sometimes take away the joy of playing. And so just trying to focus on trying to enjoy the match and, you know, have as much fun as I can and embrace every moment. So.
Okay. Ben?
Danielle Medvedev, magazine. Hey, you talked in your encore just about being 0-3 against her and how much that was motivation. I mean, where does she sort of, what kind of space did she occupy in your mind in terms of the tougher people you'd played, and what does it mean to sort of overcome that hurdle?
Yeah, I mean, I think like in terms of her game, and I mean, obviously with everything that she's accomplished and being the #1 player in the world at one point and 4 Grand Slams, you know, that's, you know, a hard thing to face when you're playing against somebody with that type of resume. But then from her tactical side, I think her serve is probably like one of the biggest things that's a challenge on court, is trying to break her. She's serving so big and she's mixing you know, her targets really well, so trying to anticipate where she's going to go. So that was a really big thing for me tonight, was just trying to break serve. And then, you know, also be really selective about my targets on my serve and to be smart in big moments, especially when, you know, I'd lose a little bit of momentum. So I think the serving and returning was the biggest things in the match, and especially against her.
What was your reaction when you saw the draw come out?
Yeah, I think, I can't even remember what I was thinking, to be honest. I think I was just like, oh, crap. Yeah, someone told me, and I was like, oh, well, that was lucky. Yeah, and, you know, I think both of us are, you know, I'm capable of playing a pretty high level, and with the success she had, you know, it's kind of like, wow, this is, you know, it's kind of tough for both of us to have to play each other in the first round, but such a great match for all the fans to watch. And, you know, I think we both played really high-level tennis, so we can both kind of walk away happy with, you know, the performance.
Court and then Ava.
Danielle, welcome back. But just in terms of yeah, not playing since July and everything, I'm just kind of wondering, just so that I have a better understanding of kind of how big this performance is from you, given what you'd gone through, like what kind of were the issues that kind of kept you off the court, and when did you decide that you were ready to come back?
Yeah, well, I've been dealing with a neck injury all year, so that's just been something that hasn't really gone away, and I haven't really had adequate time to let it rest and to heal, and so it's one of these things that gets better when I'm resting, and then when I start playing again, it kind of comes back. And I felt like in the beginning of the year when I first heard it, I was like playing this game of like, okay, I'm gonna rest it, it's gonna get better, I'm gonna like try to get out and compete right away, and then I wasn't physically ready in other ways because I've taken time off, and then I hurt something else. And then dealing with a new thing, and then having to take time off again, and then having to try to get back to competing, and then not really feeling 100% ready. And And when you're sometimes, getting beat, when you feel like you're not totally prepared physically or mentally, it starts to, hurt your confidence a little bit, and it can be really frustrating. So, after the tournament in Switzerland, I knew I needed a timeout and just needed some time to really get like an adequate training block in. That's been, something that's been really important for me is, that's something that gives me confidence. I have like a really strong work ethic, and I put a lot of hours on the court. I put a lot of hours in off the court, physically, mentally, and I needed to have that space to be able to kind of improve some things. I needed to go back to the drawing board with my serve, and I just needed a really like training block. It's so hard, like with the way our schedule is, to kind of fit in those training weeks. So I feel like that's something I need to kind of try to improve at, is spacing out like how many events I play, and just trying to still figure out like what works best for me in terms of scheduling.
Okay, Ava.
Eva Wallace, The Washington Post. Danielle, you mentioned the break of serve kind of being a focus point for you. What was your game plan going in then on those points tonight?
Yeah, tried to mix up my service position, like on her return. So like just trying return position. So just trying to, stay back a little bit, and then sometimes like take time away from her, and just kind of give her some different looks. So I didn't become too predictable, like where I was standing. And yeah, just trying to, time the ball well, especially when she's hitting like 115 mile an hour surge, because if you don't time it well, it's not going to go so well. So I just really needed to kind of lock into that, try to read her toss a little bit. And I'm just, really happy with how I returned.
All of your things you just mentioned, history with Naomi, and also your performance in Australia this year, do you feel like this could be a propulsive win for you?
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. So we'll find out soon. So hoping that I can continue the momentum, and hopefully this gives me some confidence knowing that I can, beat someone like Naomi and compete hard after not having any matches going into it. So yeah, I'm hoping for that.
Danielle, congrats, Darcy Main from ESPN.com. Speaking of Australia, this being the first hardcourt major since then, how did that change things kind of coming into this one? Did it change your confidence or mentality entering the tournament this year?
Yeah, to be honest, not really, because like when I made finals in Australian Open, I didn't play any warm-up tournaments, so that gave me a lot of confidence. I was thinking, well, my best results in slams have been when sometimes I don't play a warm-up tournament. I made quarterfinals of the French back in 2020, didn't play any clay court tournaments that year before, and just went out and felt really good. And so I guess it works for me sometimes. So I don't know if I'll stick with it, but we'll see.
I guess.
Aki Puchida from Smash Magazine. Congratulations. So in this tournament, players are allowed to get advices from the box, and I don't know if you use it today or if you find any advices helpful, but did you get some advices from the box? And in general speaking, are you pro this rule?
Yeah. To be honest, the only thing I can really hear from my team is like the commands. So I was trying to, listen. In a couple of those moments, but it's really hard to hear because the court is so spread out. So I think it's great that they can coach from the sidelines. I think when, they can come out onto the court, I think that that's a little bit tougher actually to get like a lot of valuable information, because it's like so quick and you got a mic up and you're kind of like trying to like figure out like where to enter the court, and there's like a lot of variables. So I think I prefer it from the sideline. And I think it's valuable to the players. I just wish I could hear a little better.
Okay, we'll go Tamani and then follow-ups from Chris and Ben. Tamani.
Hi Danielle, Tamani Kara from The Guardian. Regarding the training blocks, just wondering, obviously in this case you had a physical issue as well, but how difficult is it to actually kind of take time out of the calendar and schedule, training, knowing that you'll be missing out on points and prize money, and kind of trusting that, you'll improve and it will, come to fruition?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I love competing, being out there, but I'll be really honest, like when I have my time off, I'm kind of like, you know, enjoying life and having a lot of fun at home and enjoying being with my dogs and my family and my friends and being able to go lobster fishing and being able to enjoy some things that I normally don't get to enjoy when I'm on the road. So I enjoy every second of it. So if I had more opportunities to take some time off, to be honest, I probably would. I love being out there and competing, but I think having breaks and being able to, like, you know, live normally and not being like living out of a suitcase every single week and, you know, being in a new place, and it's really fun. I'm grateful for my job, but I do like my time at home. I always say, you know, if I could work from home somehow with this job, I would. So.
Okay.
Sorry. When did you start lobster fishing? How did you get into that?
So I live in Florida, so fishing's like a big thing. My dad used to be a commercial fisherman, and I love being on the water. It's something I've done my whole life. So I got to go down to the Keys for the first time this year, and it was awesome. I'm hoping that we can go back. I love lobster. I feel like when you're a kid, you're like, when people say, what's your dream meal? You're like, steak and lobster. And so it's kind of fun when you can catch it yourself.
Two more. Chris.
Hey, Danielle, I'm just curious if you've been following Serena's journey here a little bit. You watched the match last night, and just what your thoughts are about this moment in women's tennis?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I knew that it wasn't over for Serena yet, and I had full confidence in her. So I was enjoying dinner with my coach and my boyfriend and his fiance, and I just kind of knew like I was going to get to see her play again. So I had full confidence. We followed along a little bit, you know, at the dinner table, but I would like to hopefully be there for, you know, the next one, and you know, hopefully whenever her last match is, I'd love to be able to kind of celebrate that because, you know, as I think everybody knows, like I've idolized Serena and Venus my whole life. They've been people I've really looked up to, and you know, this is such a big moment in our tennis history. I love how our sport celebrates our champions of the game, and hopefully, hopefully I don't have to play Serena at some point because I'll be so torn.
Ben, last question.
Just curious if you ever encountered Naomi or her sister, like as a kid in Florida. They were sort of a little bit close in age to you, maybe some of the same events or anything?
You know, to be honest, I don't think so. But there's a handful of players that I did cross paths with a lot. But no, I don't think so. Yeah. I think Naomi's a little younger. And then her sister might be a little closer in age to me, but I don't think so.